You are listening to 90.3 WHBC, the voice of Nassau Community College, and on YouTube.com. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second half of the only wrestling talk show here on WHBC. Welcome to Takedown Breakdown. I'm your host, as always, Josh Silberg. With me, Lyle Gillen, Justin Caracciolo out, tending to the new pup. He'll be back with us next week. So let's get right into it, Lyle. A lot to talk about. Night 2, Wrestlemania, too big for one night. Might be too big for this show at this point. Okay, so let me see. Whoops, I clicked the wrong thing. Here we go. We had in my opinion, a very good opening match. And time-wise, it was the longest match of the weekend. Charlotte Flair defeating...
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. Go on the page. 20 minutes and 30 seconds. It was
a match longer.
Which one?
We'll get to it.
Oh, yes. Edge and Randy Orton. Correct. Yes, you're right. I missed that one. Sorry about that. God, you're annoying. It was Charlotte Flair defeating Rhea Ripley to become the new NXT Women's Champion. And for me, I wasn't all for it at first, but then I thought about the endless possibilities that can happen. That was Charlotte Flair versus Io Shirai, Charlotte Flair versus Shayna Baszler, Charlotte Flair versus Candice LeRae, Charlotte Flair versus Mia Yim, Dakota Kai, facing Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam, where the crowd will be there for her big moment. And to have that leadership in the locker room for those women and the pioneer of the women's division is a big get for NXT, in my opinion. It's a huge get because Charlotte has said she will defend that title on all shows, but I think having her on the NXT roster and with those women, it gives you an endless supply of matches that are almost like dream matches that you can make with her in there.
I agree with that. I don't think Charlotte will have the belt for very long. I think whoever wins the ladder match will be getting it. That's a pattern that happens with Charlotte. It seems like every year. She always wins the belt at WrestleMania, then loses it to her next title defense. I think that in front of the crowd, this would have been probably the greatest women's match of all time in WWE. And I think that there was nowhere for Charlotte to actually go by winning this match. It doesn't elevate her anywhere. She already has won 10 championships, not including her past NXT championships. So this doesn't really do anything to push her anywhere. I don't think it was the right decision to have her win. Rhea Ripley would have, if she won, she would have been through the moon booking-wise, and I think that would have been the smarter decision. Obviously, now we know that it seems like there's a rumor, at least, I don't know how true it is, that she has to go back to Australia. So I guess it makes sense. Also, if you think about it from a realistic way, NXT is a developmental brand. And you're having their best talent in a developmental brand, which is the minor leagues, go up against the best in the world, best female wrestler in the world. So that's like the best AAA team facing the Washington Nationals, who just won the World Series. And that's going to be very, very... It's going to be very... They won it. Like, if they World Series champion, well...
you could have been... It's whatever. Go on.
It's a little unbalanced. And obviously, the person who is supposed to be the current best in the world is going to be winning. So in a realistic way, I understand from that point winning. It's more believable that she would win. However, I think that's the wrong decision.
I think it was the right decision considering that the situation with Rhea Ripley, and again, I think Rhea Ripley will have her time and have that moment if she's back for SummerSlam, to challenge Charlotte, have her do it in front of a crowd. I think Rhea has earned that right to do it in front of a crowd and have that moment. you know, I'm all for Charlotte helping out these women down in NXT. But the endless amount of dream matches you can have with Charlotte Flair is there's a ton of them, and it's an exciting time I think for NXT to have a woman like this. I mean, it's just you're learning, and you're learning from the best in the world, and I think it's a benefit for Charlotte to show her strengths in the ring to these women, and it's a benefit for somebody like Triple H to say to these women, "Look at what this woman from NXT has become. She's become a superstar, a big superstar in our company, and you could do that too." So, in my opinion, I thought it was the right decision, considering that if Rhea's not allowed back in the U.S. in the meantime, they didn't have a choice. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, that's
hamstrung.
very
So,
true.
but I'm fine with it, and I'm excited for the future matches that Charlotte will have with these women. Aleister Black defeating Bobby Lashley. Look, it was a quick match. I'm fine with it. I like Aleister. I'm a big Aleister Black fan. I think he's one of the futures of this company. He's a huge Paul Heyman favorite. Paul Heyman loves Aleister Black. He would eventually love to give him a big push. I'm all for it. I mean, Black did a great job in NXT. He's doing whatever he can on the roster with whatever they're giving him to work with. It was a match that was just thrown together last second with Bobby Lashley. Look, it's not Aleister Black's greatest performance. I didn't think it was a terrible match. I didn't think it was good, but I think it was awful. I thought it was better than Elias and Corbin personally. I mean, I like Aleister Black. I think Aleister Black is very talented. Um, I wish they would have just had Lashley come from what he did when he was in Impact. Lashley was a great character in Impact, and he just has not been that guy. They had him start with the dumb gimmick of his sister, and it was just and it went downhill from there. And but I'm still a big believer in Aleister Black. I think Black is a big part of this future for this company.
Yeah, I agree. I think Black is definitely going to be somewhere at main event level eventually. I love him. I think he's phenomenal.
Paul Heyman
I
is one of
don't
his
think
favorites.
I don't think pairing him up against Bobby Lashley was a very good compliment to his style
Yeah,
and to Bobby Lashley's style either. I don't think they should wrestle each other. I think that was a bad pairing. I think it was something they just threw together. This is another match that I said should have had an NXT match in this place and not this match. Not anything against Aleister Black, but this is a match that doesn't really go anywhere. I think the ultimate match, and it's something like the next one, which went a very long time, the storyline. I think that it should have been Lashley versus Rusev at Mania. I think that's where it should have culminated. They should have had another match there.
the
That
big
would have made more
payoff.
sense. Yeah, that would have made more sense for that
Yeah.
than having Aleister Black in there randomly.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. And again, you're listening to 90.3 WHBC, the voice of Nassau Community College with Lyle Gillen. I'm Josh Silberg, Justin Caracciolo out this week. This is Takedown Breakdown. And again, you can listen to us every Monday night, 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. on 90.3 WHBC. You can also follow us on YouTube. I believe, Lyle, it's Takedown Breakdown Entertainment. I want to say, did I get that correctly?
Takedown Breakdown Radio.
Takedown Breakdown Radio. Okay, Takedown Breakdown Radio. Very important. I'll be uploading these videos as well. If you want to check them on YouTube, Lyle will post them on the Twitter page and on Facebook as well, and any social media you can get a hold of, they'll be on there. So you definitely want to tune in and follow us on that. So the next match we had was Lyle's favorite. Just kidding. Otis defeating Dolph Ziggler. I mean, Otis got to kiss Mandy Rose. That's kind of cool. I mean, good for him.
I don't think I
Good for
can say
him.
what I wanted. I don't think I can say what I wrote on Twitter about this match.
Yeah, please
Not
don't.
video appropriate.
I
don't know if you saw it.
don't know. I actually don't even. Okay, so I don't follow Lyle on Twitter at times. I take a vacation from him because his banters on Twitter are sometimes like egregious and outrageous, and I'm just like, I can't handle this anymore. So I
On
unfollow for a
Twitter,
little
I'm
bit of
generally
time.
a troll.
Yeah, and it drives me nuts. Um,
He gets trolled.
oh,
But
yeah.
I'm not a
So
big
it was a bad
Otis
match.
fan. It was okay.
Actually, well, I shouldn't say it was bad. It was okay. It was okay. It
I'm not
wasn't
a fan of
terrible.
Otis. I think he's very cringe to watch. I think he's very cringe. I can't stand watching him. He makes me want to change the channel. He seems like a person who's very fake, and I don't. There are people who are not the. I know what they're trying to do. He's not the main guy. He's not this guy who is super attractive and someone that Mandy Rose would want. But when I watch Otis, he's not someone like, wow, I want this guy to succeed. Like, I'm like, you're really cringe and very awkward. I want to change the channel and not watch you. There's
Man,
just
after you got
something
the
about him.
girl, you
I don't
got
know if it's
Mandy
his
Rose.
voice.
That was cool. It's
Not really.
cool.
He didn't really get her. Like,
Who
let's
cares?
be real, they're
You got to
actually
kiss her.
dating.
So what?
What's he do?
Hey,
She got
listen.
paid. She got paid to kiss him. That's worse than like when you go to
Eh,
Vegas and you pay for other stuff. Like, come on.
well.
I don't think that was. I don't like Otis at all. I can't. Not that I can't stand him, but I think he's very cringe to watch and it makes me want to change the channel.
So we'll move on from that. The next match we had, which was the longest match on the card, it was a last man standing match, and some people had. It was interesting. I read, like, I think Dave Meltzer wasn't a fan of this match. I saw some people were and some were not, and that's fair. It was Edge and Randy Orton, and it was obviously last man standing. It was in the Performance Center. It's very different than probably what they were going to do in Raymond James. Kind of like last year when Shane McMahon faced The Miz in that kind of match, and it was like a false count anywhere match, and it was entertaining. Shane McMahon and The Miz. It was an entertaining match. Shane and Miz did the thing from the camera pole, I think it was. They did that spot. They were really, it was tough. There were no spots that you could do it from. I know people were insulted, because the Chris Benoit thing was just shown on Dark Side of the Ring, and some people were insulted that they had Edge hanging on the thing in the gym, which is like, I mean, I'm not going to touch that. I'm not touching that. But I thought the match was good. I thought it was a good match. I don't think it was a great match. I don't think it was an awesome match. I thought it was a very good match. It's tough. They were in a very tough spot because you saw they were walking through the center and they were in tight spots. They're walking through this room, and it's tight. You can't really walk anywhere. You're trying to avoid wires and everything like that. And I give them credit. They did what they could with it. I enjoyed it. The ending was phenomenal. I thought Orton would win to continue the storyline. So we'll see where it goes from here with Edge. I would love to see Edge face Seth Rollins one time. But I thought it was a good match. I thought it was a very good match.
Yeah, I liked the match a lot. A lot of people were very critical of the length of the match.
Yes.
I didn't have a problem with it.
That's what Meltzer said.
Like,
He said it was too long.
that's what most people were complaining about.
Yeah.
Now that spot that he had in the gym, I think it was
Don't even touch that. Don't even touch that. Don't even touch that. It's not even worth the time to talk about, Lyle. It's not even worth the time to even breathe about it.
But I think it was, hey, we don't have to ever go back down there and pay for a tour of the Performance Center.
Yeah, really, we gotta
whatever they look like.
Between them and Gargano Ciampa, I'm telling I never have to tour it.
I thought that it was they did a phenomenal job of being inventive and creative of what they want to use. I found it very ironic that on the Edge's 24 show, he said he wasn't going to be jumping off of anything crazy anymore, and there he goes, jumps off that giant ledge with the ladder and jumped onto Orton.
The thing with the fence on the ceiling with the fence that he had, and he jumped off of that
he did
thing.
That
I was like, that's so. I didn't even know what that was.
His neck is okay. But yeah, I thought it was a very good match. I would have right after night 2 ended. I thought this was my favorite match of the entire card. I still think it is definitely up there. My top 3. I love the match, and I think this will be one of the matches that you come back and remember as a WrestleMania match. I think it'll be the only one, and
I can see the
I
Boneyard
think
match
it's
too. That's just my
yeah,
opinion.
that one too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Um.
yeah. Because that was so out
But
there.
I think that this match is it's having memorable WrestleMania moments. You want to remember the WrestleMania, and that's one reason why I hate how they take the numbers off. You don't go, oh, it's WrestleMania 13, WrestleMania 17. You have to actually physically remember the match. You're looking at the pay per view and looking at everything. You don't see the number. So I think it's something that people are going to remember the good WrestleMania moment. I don't think they're going to remember this event, but I think they will remember this match.
I mean, I think they'll make specials on all this stuff. From the pandemic
Eventually,
to
yeah,
WrestleMania
I can
being
agree.
done, they'll make specials which will make people remember it. That's the thing. You're gonna get a special on something like this, and it will be in documentaries about when this situation happened. That they were the only sporting event to continue to do what they were doing. No other sporting events were they were all out of commission. But WWE did WrestleMania. Nobody else did their other events. So I think that's where it gets remembered in that sense. Um, Street Profits defeated Angel Garza and Austin Theory. So happy Austin Theory got to be on the show. He's definitely a future superstar in this business. Justin said it last week. I want to give him credit, or 2 weeks ago, comparing him to a young Randy Orton. I love it. Angel Garza, I really do like Angel Garza a lot. There's a little bit of a, it's interesting. It's kind of a little bit of his personality is a Eddie Guerrero in him. I see a tad bit of that in him a little bit. And he's been compared to that. And the Street Profits, they're fun. To me, I like, I think they're a fun team, athletic team, everything. It was a quick match, so nothing really too, animated about it or anything like
Um,
that.
it was a quick, good match for a 6 minute match. It was good. Um, like I like Austin Theory. I love him. I think he's gonna be somewhere. He's very young. Uh, I think all four of these men in this match, and you could even include Andrade, are gonna be major players in the
Oh,
WWE 5 years.
for sure. Andrade especially.
I think Andrade is more Eddie Guerrero like
Yeah,
than Angel Garza.
Angel
But
Garza. They're close. Yeah, they're close when you see the personalities and the way they are. They're close. But yes, I can see what you're saying.
um, yeah, it was a good match. I don't have anything terribly horrible to say about it.
That's nice. That's so nice of you, Lyle. So nice of
I'm gonna be fine right now.
you. The women's match: Bailey defeating Lacey Evans, Naomi, Sasha Banks, and Tamina. I think Sasha and Bailey are going to eventually have a rivalry. I like Lacey Evans. I respect Lacey Evans because she was in the military as a child, and I think she's also become a better wrestler, in my opinion. I think she has. Tamina, I can care less about. Naomi, I can care less about. But I thought Lacey Evans put on a very good performance. You know, Sasha and Bailey, I would love to see a rivalry again renewed like they did in NXT. But we'll see. I think Lacey Evans has really grown, and I think she really showed out in this match big time.
Um, Besides Bailey, who I think as a heel has become very entertaining, there is not one person in this match I give a crap about. I didn't care about any of them. I
Wow.
honestly
You
I
just
didn't
took
care
my
about this
words
match.
and you just flushed them down the toilet. It's literally what you just did.
I didn't care about this match at all. I don't like Sasha as a person. Um, I'm not crazy about Lacey. I think she's solid in the ring, but I think her character's good. Uh, Tamina, I didn't even know she was still wrestling. Um, Naomi is good. Um, she always has good matches, but she's never someone who I go, wow, I want to see her match. She's not over with me, but she is someone who does have solid matches. Um, it was just in the end, it was predictable, and when that match was coming up next, I kind of didn't care.
uh,
I took it out of the break so I could go get food.
so the next match we had was defeating Bray Wyatt, defeating John Cena, and this was my first acid trip I ever went on. It was awesome. in my opinion. Because it just took all the stages of John Cena's life, what he did, what he's present with, and what he could have been. And to me, I know it's very hit and miss. People liked it, people didn't. That's fair. I understand completely. People thought it was dumb. People really liked it. A lot of the writers, I know, I forget. One of the writers said they didn't like it, but Dave LaGreca said he loved it. You know what I mean? So it's really a hit and miss with this match. Like I said, it felt like I was on drugs watching it. Really did. So I mean, I just found it entertaining. It was funny, and it had what could have been for John Cena, and who knows what the future holds for sure.
When I first watched it, I was glued to the TV and somewhat entertained. And then I thought, you know what? I'm gonna watch it again. And I watched it again, and I said to myself halfway through, except unless the only thing I say of this match, and I will actually agree with Brian Alvarez about this. The only thing that was good about this match was the Vince puppet. So I said that line that I cannot say on radio. But this match, and I'm going to use that with the loosest type of way that word can be used. Maybe a 0.0001% of what a match is in wrestling was this. It was not a wrestling match. It was a promo that was 13 minutes long, and it was the dumbest thing I ever watched in my entire life.
I wouldn't go that
It
far.
was
Not the dumbest
awful.
thing. I've watched
It was
dumber.
terrible. It was not a wrestling match. It should have been called the Firefly Funhouse promo.
You thought that was the
But it
dumbest
was
thing you ever watched?
stupid.
Go watch WCW Greed in 2001 and come back to me.
I will do that. But this was
Yeah.
awful.
Good luck sitting through
This
that
was
for more than
terrible.
10 minutes.
It was terrible. This quote
I
unquote
thought it was
match.
fine. I have a different opinion. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. The two of them were great together, and they work great together. They always have, and that's just way.
If it was just a promo, yes, but like
It
what?
wasn't really supposed to be a match.
Like
That was the thing. It wasn't really supposed to be a match. It was not supposed to
then
be a
why did they call
match.
it the Firefly Funhouse match?
That's the point. Nobody knew what it was. We don't know what the Firefly Funhouse match was. We don't
It
know
was
what it
just
was.
all around stupid and dumb, and it never should have been a thing. It
Uh,
should have just had a match.
you have your
Wait, it's had a match.
you have your opinion on it, and I have with mine. I thought it was good, and you didn't like it, and that's how some of the writers
Like
were. Some
the
people
way it
liked it, some
ended.
didn't.
The way it
You
ended
know.
is like he was an opinion. I said, "There's no referee. Is the referee gonna pop up? Is there gonna be a new puppet to the referee?
No,
Is the
Bray.
Vince puppet gonna have a referee shirt on? And he's gonna go 1, 2, 3." But like it was showing Bray Wyatt doing the 1, 2, 3. It was just a lot of things about it was really dumb and didn't make sense to me. It was
I thought it was entertaining. I laughed during it. I was like, "This is it." For me, it was a fun thing to watch. So we just have different perspectives
the
on it,
first
and I
time
and I
watching
and I
it.
expected it.
The first time I watched it, the thing I actually liked about it was the NWO part because I didn't expect that. However, watching it a complete second time, everything in there did not make sense. It was stupid and should not have been a thing.
All right,
Dumbest thing on Old Wrestlemania.
we're gonna move on to our main event, and then we'll get to our finisher, and that was Drew McIntyre defeating Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. I'm a huge Drew McIntyre fan. I would have loved to have been in the crowd when he won the championship. If you watch the Chronicles about Drew, I feel even more sorry for him that there was no crowd there. It's horrible. I feel bad for him. The guy works his tail off endlessly to be great at his craft. And Paul Heyman, he's another Paul Heyman favorite. And I feel so bad that he had this moment in front of nobody. And that's what makes me sad to see something like that happen for a guy that came back from where he was, which was once a 3 MB air guitar playing wacko, to now becoming the WWE champion. You see the resurgence of what he's been the last couple of years, and I respect Drew immensely for that and everything going forward for sure for him. And I wish him the best in his championship run. He's earned it.
I will agree when you look at where he came from. Um, he was a jobber, and he went and he. I don't remember if he got released or he got fired,
He got
but
fired. He
He
bought
got
his
fired. Yeah,
house. He bought his house with his wife, and the first day he moved in, they fired him.
that's awful.
Yes.
But you know what? I give him the most credit in the world. He did something very similar to Cody. He left. He went to Impact. He rebuilt himself, but a little bit completely different than Cody. He went back to WWE, and he got built. He got booked completely different because he was a completely different character. But you look at him, and I'm a fan of what he's done and what he's changed, and he gets a lot of credit from me for doing it. The match itself is what you expected it to be, but I think Drew can definitely do great things. I think he'll be something that will become a powerhouse. I'm very interested to see where he can go with this, and
For
I
sure.
give him all the credit in the world.
It's awesome. And like I said, if you get a chance, watch the Chronicle about him. I had my wife, who's not even really a wrestling fan, she watched it with me, and she felt sorry for him that that happens. When something like that happens, you move into your house and the first day and you get fired. I mean, that's just, and he said he had nobody to blame but himself. So I respect that. Kudos to him. He took it, he took the bump and he took it and he changed completely. Went back to Europe, did some indie work in Europe, came over back to Impact, and he's become something who was really good in NXT. Sammy's making an appearance on my camera. That's awesome. So yeah. All right, so let's get to the finisher right now. Lyle, quickly. We have about 2 minutes left.
I think this could have been one of the most memorable manias ever if they took the big NXT takeover matches that everyone's looking forward to and took out the filler crap that was on here and put it into this card. It's on your network, so you don't have a time limit, and you have 2 nights. They could have easily extended this to 4 hours, put 2 matches on each night, and made them crazy matches and made it pretty much an hour longer. And it would have been a phenomenal WrestleMania. And you are exposing so many more to so many more people the NXT brand and what they can do. And you're trying to win the Wednesday Night War, but you're not trying to expose them to more people. That entire thought process was stupid to me, and I think that they really dropped the ball on that. They chose, instead of putting them in front of millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people, they put them in front of 623,000. That's dumb. That's very, very dumb.
So for me, I think it is a memorable WrestleMania anyway because of the circumstances. This is always going to be the WrestleMania that's remembered during this pandemic. This was the only event that happened. This was the one event that went through with it. They broke records for viewership. People watched it. And when you look on it and you look back at it, and you're going to see events that happened during the COVID-19, which is going to be in our history books now, this will be in the record books as the only sporting event that did happen during the pandemic. And it went through with it. They tried to give people time to be distracted. So when you take that, I think this will be a WrestleMania that's remembered for this situation that we are in the sense of we're all quarantined in our houses, nowhere to go, and this was the only sporting event that went through with what they were going to do. Okay, so I look back, and this is something that will be in the record books for sure. But one last thing.
I think that it's going to be something that people are going to look back, and they're going to go, WrestleMania 36, what was that? Where was that? What happened there? Oh, wait, that's right.
All right, we got to go. We're out of time. Thank you for listening.
Thank
you for listening. 90.3 WHBC, the voice of Nassau Community College. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk to you next week. Have a good night.